So how did you first learn about sex?
I first learned about sex in 6th grade health class.
My dad told me.
There was a book placed in my closet to read after The Birds and the Bees talk.
From older friends that I had.
We learned in 5th grade what sex was, kind of.
I learned about sex when all the kids would get together and like talk about what it was and what they thought it was.
I think I was in probably elementary school and some boys were talking about it. I think they referred to a vagina as a cat.
I first learned about sex from my friend Lauren, and she told me that a blowjob was when you had sex in a car, which is something she saw in a movie.
When I was talking to one of my friends, I was like 6 and they had discovered sex and they're like, this is sex. And I was like, whoa.
So how long after you heard about sex did you have sex ed in the classroom?
We didn't discuss sex ed in the classroom until
It was in 10th grade health class.
So I had sex ed in the classroom in 6th grade.
5th grade and then again in 7th grade.
I had a really awkward and not very descriptive video.
My 9th grade year in high school.
I had sex ed I think around 6th or 7th grade.
we had religious sexual education.
The private school that I went to did not teach sex education in the health class until senior year of high school.
We just had one day of sex ed. She brought in a wooden penis and a condom.
So what did you learn about in sex ed in the classroom?
It was abstinence-only sex education.
I went to a Christian middle school, so that was all abstinence.
Just different stuff, just about the body.
They basically try to tell us if you've had sex with one person and it's not monogamous, then you've had sex with like 3,000 people or something like that.
The main thing I remember is the teacher let us ask questions and they taught us anatomy.
Before Eddie's sentence, he started with, before you all get naked and start touching each other.
I really learned about the dangers of sex.
A lot of the focus was on STDs.
And Mrs. Doherty showed us pictures of STDs, and she taught us how to use a condom, but she really emphasized the STDs more than the condom.
We learned about STI prevention, just use condoms.
And then they showed us gruesome pictures and made us want to be abstinent.
They didn't really teach me about how you have sex.
Do you know teens that got pregnant in high school?
Yeah, there were a lot of girls who got pregnant at my high school, actually.
We had a lot of pregnant teenagers at our high school.
I can think of one person that got pregnant during high school. Yes.
Yes, I knew so many teens who got pregnant in high school.
We had probably 20 or 30 kids at my school. We even had kids in middle school get pregnant.
Like my prom date, I went to my prom with a girl who was 8 months pregnant.
Like, my very best friend now has a child who was very cute, but she was still in high school.
So how do you think we could reduce teen pregnancy and STI rates?
Through more education and more access.
By teaching a lot more like at younger ages.
By widening a student's knowledge of birth control.
I think people should be honest about sex.
Make that like part of the health curriculum for a while, like in middle school and high school, just a constant sex ed.
There's sort of a disconnect between the reality of what's going on around you and what you're being taught in a textbook.
I think that public education needs to really improve about their stances on sex ed.
And teach more about how to use birth control and how to obtain birth control, not just condoms, other forms of birth control.
People were provided with options for getting condoms, maybe in high school, maybe if you could like go to the nurse and like ask for it or something.
More readily available contraception for free.
I think that birth control should be advocated more. Give everyone condoms all the time.
Free condoms, just it would help things.